Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to this special series of videos on natal planets conjunct the nodes and transiting planets conjunct the nodes. Originally, when I created these videos, they ended up being over an hour long where I went through the sky and talked about each of the planets. Now, what I've done is I've edited these videos down so that you can get right to the information that you want. Look at the exact planet that you want. I want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you especially for the suggestions that you guys give me on the videos that you want to see in the YouTube comments, on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and of course my website, nadiyashah.com. Please do keep those questions, suggestions, interactions, and positive energy coming. It really does mean so much to me. And if you like these videos, please share them. And of course, let me know online. Enjoy. Venus conjunct the nodes. So Venus conjunct the south node, as it would suggest, would be the end of a situation. It could be the end of a relationship because Venus is goddess of love. It could bring the end of a relationship or symbolize. It doesn't bring anything. None of the planets bring anything or influence us in any way. They are only indicators. They are only a mirror. And so Venus can suggest the end of a relationship. Venus can also speak to the end of a pattern within a relationship, the end of understanding where it is that someone fits in and where it is maybe that they don't. It could be the end of a certain expectation that you have within a relationship as well. So it can actually be a good thing, especially when you consider how Venus might be aspecting other planets. So you want to watch, is transiting Venus aspecting your natal planets in any way? Is she aspecting other transiting planets in any way, especially outer planets? That is going to indicate how important a shift this is for you when Venus does come along and conjunct the south node. And that's one time when there is a planet actually on the node. That's when I'm also looking at aspects to the nodes as well. But again, I don't think that there's a conjunction to the nodes by far is much more powerful, much more significant in my experience than aspects are. Transiting aspects and transiting conjunctions. So Venus, as I said, it can also suggest the end of a financial situation, but I personally have not really found that to be the case that often because of the emotional sort of way that Venus has. I have found that it tends to be much more emotional, especially with the south node. It tends to be much more closer to the heart. Now, if it's a south node in Taurus and it's Venus conjunct the south node, it's possible that there's some sort of financial shift that happens. But, you know, again, I have to say Venus conjunct the south node almost always in some way connects to some emotional pattern, emotional reality, emotional situation that you understand has served its karmic purpose. And you say, okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the learning. I think I'm ready to move on now. And Venus conjunct the north node, as it sounds, can suggest a new person coming in. It can suggest some sort of interaction. Now, the permanence of that person, I think you want to get to the transpersonal and outer planets before you can really talk about people who will stick around for a long time coming in. It's much more with Venus, you have to see other things in the chart taking place before you can say, yeah, this is a relationship coming in. But Venus conjunct the north node does bring with it some kind of romantic experience that ends up really changing things for you, that ends up helping you to understand where it is that you're going in love and what it is that you want your future to be in love. It is a very important shift in some way, so that helps you clarify, okay, yeah, like I understand how I've changed and what direction it is ultimately I'm meant to go where it comes to relating to another, being close to another, being in a partnership with another person. So sometimes this can bring in an established bond. This can bring a new understanding or the feeling of a new chapter. As we said, or as I said before, with financial situations, it can sometimes bring financial opportunity with it. But again, I have found More often than not, it tends to play out more emotionally, but it can play out financially as well, where some kind of financial opportunity comes. But it tends not to be as big an opportunity as it might otherwise be if, even if Mercury is involved at the same time, that would be a stronger indicator. If Mercury and Venus, because they do tend to get together, they don't travel that far from each other. So if Mercury and Venus are pretty close together, or the Sun as well, then that could shift the energy enough to make it more about finances. But just Venus on her own is usually about love. And so if you're attached, it could be a new understanding within that partnership. If you are not, it can bring just some experience that helps you understand the context of where you are right now more clearly. But it does tend to stand out as a notable moment, or at least some notable shift that takes place for you that ends up being really important part of you understanding what love is going to mean to you now, and what a healthier, more evolved love is going to look like for you in the future.